I heard started way back during COVID. That's when the talks of and idea came out. Like, can you tell us?
That's when we started working on fleshing out the idea. It was
Okay.
at a very nascent stage. And I think shortly after the lockdown was over, Hitesh came on board. And then the rest is history.
She said when you came on board, what stage was this? You all had the story where you had the idea. How did this work out for you both?
I did initially was to just ask her questions. So there were
Many questions.
to just understand, then you
Yeah.
change things around, and then you, how do you want to shape it? So yeah,
Right.
that was my entry point.
Tell me, what is it like to direct Shibana ji?
As much as it was exciting, it was also a learning curve
Yeah.
to work with such a gifted and a senior actor. So, बहुत मजे आया.
Essentially was needed for them to be able to create magic on screen.
Yeah.
So I think for somebody like her to be able to do that is such a good quality to have.
Jyotika's character, initially when she starts, she's in this debt and the tension shows on her. Later she becomes a part of this gang. What is she like on the set?
The most amount of time we spent was on her character, because
Okay.
her character is a very complex one. She's dealing with a marriage, and she is an urban woman who's a mother. Still, she has to get in the world of the drugs. So it was a complicated character. And every actor, to be honest, Rohit, had a different process.
He's the best director to make this, but I have to ask this question that when there are a lot of women on the set, a lot of producers tell me that they also want to explore a female director because a female gaze is very different from a male gaze on the set and about characters. Was there ever consideration, or I mean, no one could do it better than him?
I don't think that anybody else could have done this project. I feel that whatever is meant for you is meant for you.
Right.
And this was always meant for Hitesh.
Yeah.
And I don't think that his gender has anything to do with how he's directed the show. I don't necessarily agree that female gaze is different with men than it is with women. I'm a female, and forget the lack of experience as a director, but I don't think I could have directed the show with the same gaze that he has.
Right. Hi guys, like he asked you all, do you all watch Netflix? I'm very sure you all do. I have loved this new show called Dabba Cartel. Have you all watched it? Super. So I'm going to introduce the producer and the director of Dabba Cartel, Shibani Akhtar and Hitesh Bhatia, the director. Please come on stage and we're going to have a fun conversation with them. Shibani, it's Women's Day. Let's have Shibani first. Hello, Shibani. Yeah. Women call the shots, sit wherever comfortable. Hi, Hitesh. In true sense of ladies first on Women's Day, we'll start with you, Shibani. This, I heard, started way back during COVID. That's when the talks of and idea came out. Like, can you tell us?
That's when we started working on fleshing out the idea. It was
Okay.
at a very nascent stage, and we began the writer's room process during COVID. So
Okay.
essentially it was over Zoom calls for an extended period. But that's when the genesis of the idea happened. And it took us some time. I think shortly after the lockdown was over, Hitesh came on board. And then the rest is history.
Right.
It's been years in the making.
Wow, what an interesting journey. Hitesh, she said when you came on board, at what stage was this? You all had the story where you had the idea. How did this work out for you both?
No, it was much more than a story. I think they were deep into the writing when I came on board. Of course, then, one started with the discussions of the characters and how things and all that. But I think they had a fair idea of how things are. But then you come in, and then I think what I did initially was to just ask her questions. So there were
Many questions.
many questions to just understand. Then you change things around, and then you, how do you want to shape it? So yeah,
Right.
that was my entry point.
Right. One thing we have to talk about, and everybody would be interested in that, is the casting. These are the best actors, and also a female-oriented show with Shabana Azmi, Jyotika, Shalini Pandey, so many of them. Tell me, could you take me through the casting process? Who came on board? How excited were they?
I think this is a better question for Hitesh. We knew that Shabana was going to be on board from the very beginning.
Right.
She was there when the idea had when I'd come up with the idea, I knew that I wanted her for the show. The rest of the cast, Hitesh can talk about.
Everyone, Nimisha, Sai.
See, everyone was a process other than Ashley Singh Sabana Azmi, because, she had thought of Shabana while when they had thought of the show itself. So she was there. But for every other cast member, it was a process. You know, we really racked our brains for a long time because we really wanted to be very clear and certain. So there's some casting which was easy. You know, that one wanted one particular person and you got that person. Sometimes it needed a convincing, or two of us are convinced but someone else is. So it was a long process, because see, the show is standing on the shoulders of these 5 women. So we really needed to be sure. And I think we just got very lucky to get the cast that we got eventually, because they're all fabulous performers. And not just the women, you know, whether it is Gajraj or Jishu or Gopendra, everyone. It was a delight. It was just a delightful cast.
Wow. Shibani, first time producer. This is, Excel has been doing such great work. We love their films, the shows that they make. Tell us about what was the talk within the company, you, Farhan, Ritesh, everyone who was involved. What did they think of Dabba Cartel before it came out?
No, I mean, see, from the beginning, it was a story that I had taken to one of the producers, Qasim Jagmagia, in the very early stages, just as a way of asking him what the process is to just kind of register a story. I had no idea that Excel would be interested in producing the show and making it.
Right.
So he was very excited at that time and said that he would show this to Ritesh and Farhan and see if they were interested in producing it, because he loved it. And that turned out to happen. And I think the support from them has been immense since the very beginning. They've really believed in the story the entire time. And from the very get-go, they knew we had something. And I think that's always a great foundation to kind of work with when you have producers that believe in the project that you're working in. So yeah, it was great from the start, actually.
Right. As a producer, what kind of shows, movies, what kind of content would you like to make? Eventually we all want to leave a filmography where we should be known for something. Anything on your mind? What kind of genre or what kind of shows, movies you'll explore after this?
I definitely want to do a musical at some point.
Oh, nice.
That's something that Hitesh has given me a look. I think that means he wants to direct it. He's saying, sign me up. See this?
Yeah.
I'd like to explore different genres, actually. A crime drama is one of my favorites. It's a no-brainer, you know? But I think musical would be great. I would love to do just a drama.
Sure.
What else is there that interests me? I'm not much of a sci-fi girl, but I think this kind of space really interests me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hitesh, I want to talk to you about each cast member. Tell me, what is it like to direct Shibana ji? You know, even when she comes on screen for 1 second, all eyes are on her. What is that magic, and what is it like to direct her?
One, it is magical, to work with her, because just to tell you one incident, that on our set, one day we celebrated her completing 50 years in the industry.
My God, how cool is that?
So just to cut that cake and to see that person standing over there working for 50 years, and she has worked with Steven Spielberg and, Satyajit Ray, and so more than just that feeling of directing her and feeling good about it, one has to really prepare, because she is who she is because she puts in that kind of hard work. The kind of, if I have 100 questions about something, she has 500.
Right.
And she wants to know every single thing. You'll be surprised that the amount of information that she wants for the character. And after and I'm saying every cut, when you say cut and she'll be standing in that corner, everyone is doing something or the other, she'll be continuously mouthing her lines, continuously through the day. I'm saying 8 hours stretch. Wow. So that pushes us to, bring my A game to the table. You can't be lazy about anything. You really need to. So, as much as it was exciting, it was also a learning curve to work with such a gifted and a senior actor. So, बहुत मजा आया.
Wow, बहुत मजा आया. वो तो दिख रहा था. Does it ever get, genuinely tell me, gets a bit intimidating when you're directing her?
Not really, but very initially in the first meeting or so, but generally it's not really. I can't work with actors if I'm intimidated by them. Any actor for that matter. whoever it is. I really need to have that comfort with them, to have my equation, to have those silly jokes and to make them comfortable and to just clear that air. So I think she also made us all, including me and everyone, very comfortable.
Right.
Everyone was scared that Shibani ji is coming, she's coming, ye hata do, wo kar do, this thing. But she was absolutely chill.
Right.
She will crack the jokes. She made all the actors very comfortable, and then it was just a fun atmosphere on the set.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah.
If I would to ask you, if women and girls were to watch Shabana ji and learn something from her, what would you pick from all the qualities that she has?
Well, I'm going to speak about probably a quality that she has off camera, because I
Yes.
feel that would
Sure.
be something that I would know more about. On when they're shooting, you could ask Hitesh.
Yeah.
I think it's her ability to be able to walk into a room and make people feel comfortable. I think with someone who has been a part of Indian cinema for 50 years, there can be a tendency to feel intimidated by somebody of her stature and experience.
Right.
And when you meet her, not all of it, but most of it goes away with the amount of warmth that she has. And I think that's one of the things that the cast kept mentioning, even in interviews, is that they felt very bonded to her, and she kind of pulled everyone in and made sure everyone, had that kind of synergy and chemistry, and there was a good dynamic between them that essentially was needed for them to be able to create magic on screen.
Yeah.
So I think for somebody like her to be able to do that is such a good quality to have.
Yeah. I can.
It puts everyone at ease.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Jyotika's character, initially when she starts, she's in this debt and the tension shows on her. Later she becomes a part of this gang. What is and you just move with her every time she goes. You just believe everything she's doing. What is she like on the set?
On the set, she was a lot of fun to work with. I think she again comes from a very different school where she wanted to understand everything in detail. And between Shibani, me, and writers, I think the most amount of time we spent was on her character, because her character is a very complex one. She's dealing with a marriage, and she is an urban woman who's a mother. Still, she has to get in the world of the drugs. So it was a complicated character. So there was a lot of questions that she had and a lot of homework that she had come up with, that okay, I want to do it like this and not do it like that. So very interesting process. And every actor, to be honest, Rohit, had a different process.
I can imagine.
Every actor has a very different process, wherein Shabana wants to discuss and rehearse everything all over again and again and again.
Right.
But with Nimisha, it's just like one reading and that's it.
Wow,
She
that's
doesn't
so
want to
cool.
talk again. She doesn't want to discuss anything again. So with her, I was a bit nervous that how will this happen? That I've just done one meeting and she's saying, "Kare sir, set pe karte, set pe karte."
That's really a different way of working. That's really cool. You got to see everything. I love Shalini Pandey. What is she like?
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. She's so full of life. She's always cracking jokes. Whenever she's on the set, she just lights up the set for all of us. Always fun to talk to discuss things.
Really sweet. She's a really sweet girl.
Sweet girl.
Very sweet.
Right. Gajraj adds so much to this. And look at him. He has releases all the time on one platform and another platform. He's all over the place, one of the busiest actors right now. He comes across exactly what he is. But y'all tell us, y'all have seen a different side of Gajraj. What do you observe about him?
So obviously Hitesh has spent a lot more time with him than I
Sure.
have. But when I met him closer to the release and launch of the show, he is literally the nicest guy on the planet.
Wow.
He is so nice.
Yeah.
And he just puts his heart into things. I think even when very early on when you were about to start shooting, just his whole the idea of what he wanted to look like, what his character wanted. He was so involved and doing things himself, and he's just all heart.
Yeah,
But
nice.
Hitesh obviously knows.
Yeah,
more.
you tell us about
No,
Gajraj.
as she's saying, she all heart, very extremely sweet person to work with. But again, he is also so much into the character that if I show you the number of voice notes that I have for him, you'll be shocked. So I have a voice note for him at 7 in the morning, at 10 at night. Something he will think of, this shoe, that thing. Hitesh, I went for a marriage. I saw this guy standing over there. What do you think? Should I do? So this entire look that he has, it was his idea.
Okay.
He
Wow.
sent me this idea. Then I was a little resistant about this thing. Okay, should we do it or not? So he sent me some 9 voice notes that why you not this thing. Then this guy I saw in the marriage. So very involved.
Yeah,
and then when someone is so passionate about it again, then you are so excited that he's putting in so much hard work into just getting things done. So very interesting.
Right. It must be great, in fact, when actors are involved and they're showing enthusiasm and they want something, right? That must be a side that you must be waiting for.
Yeah. I think we were just lucky that all the actors, I'm saying even somebody who was just there for 2 days or 3 days, everyone had just put in so much of hard work into their characters. So that makes just my job much easier.
Right.
Much easier. Not just it's exciting and fun, it just becomes easier because they're coming with so much of, even Shalini for that matter,
Yeah.
Shalini, Nimisha, they just came up with so much that, okay, my costume should be like this, I don't want to wear this kind of color, my personality right now. So many discussions become much faster and easier. Yeah, so.
Right. Shibani, I think he's the best director to make this, but I have to ask this question that when there are a lot of women on the set, a lot of producers tell me that they also want to explore a female director because a female gaze is very different from a male gaze on the set and about characters. Was there ever consideration, or I mean, no one could do it better than him? Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that. I don't think that anybody else could have done this project. I feel that whatever is meant for you is meant for you.
Right.
And this was always meant for Hitesh.
Yeah.
And I don't think that his gender has anything to do with how he's directed the show. I don't necessarily agree that female gaze is different with men than it is with women. I'm a female, and forget the lack of experience as a director, but I don't think I could have directed the show with the same gaze that he has.
Right.
There are scenes in this, whether it's the relationship between Shahida and Preeti, whether it's conversations with Varuna and Mala, that have been handled with so much delicacy and tenderness that you have to understand humans. You have to, yes, understand women. But I will say this. I think apart from the female gaze,
Right.
I think one of the greatest things that Hitesh has brought to the table as a director, and this is the reason why I feel nobody else could have directed the show but
Right.
him. And there's one reason for that, and that is the choices that he has made. Because every single decision that you make in terms of treating a scene, how you want the characters to move through that scene, how you want them to play the scene, whether it's an intimate one, whether it's a fight, the choices that he has made as a director have led to this final product.
Wow.
So even in the relationship between Shahida and Preeti, he could have chosen to show that any multiple way,
Right.
but this was the choice that he made. When Shankar and Varuna have a very tough conversation that leads to a fight, that could have been very on the nose. It could have been a certain way that didn't make it as powerful as it is now when you see it because of choices that were made. So I feel like, yes, it's female gaze, but it's choices. And it's your vision as a director.
Right.
So no, nobody else could have done it. I don't care what he says.
Right. What I'll ask you is, you want to add something?
I'm just saying she's just very sweet.
What is it, genuinely, what is it like to direct all these women? They come from different experiences. Someone is young, someone is senior. What is that set like? This must be some different energy on a set.
I don't know honestly whether there is a difference when there are 5 women on the set vis-a-vis 5 different men
right.
on the set. And to be honest, in my first film also, we were discussing this earlier in the day. I had a bunch of women, they were all part of a kitty group. So again, I was dealing with one Rishi Kapoor and a bunch of 7 women. And over here also there were so many women. So I think outside of the gender, you're just working with such fabulous, talented actors. So I don't know. Personally, I don't think about it like that. I don't think about it. Maybe there is someone else. I'm not the right person. Maybe it is her or some crew member or the actors themselves. That how are they feeling?
Right.
Because I don't know.
Right. When you have all these many actors in one project, every actor when they sign, they come with some dreams, they come with some hopes that they all feel will they do justice to my part. It's every actor's concern. And how do you manage you did that? How did you manage to do that? Even this answer will help a director also who's starting out maybe. How does one do justice to every character?
So to begin with, I am not thinking about what an actor wants.
Okay.
Or what they think that this guy it should happen. unka koi sapna hai, I should be able to do justice to that. I'm not thinking about that at all. Zero.
Okay.
I'm only concerned about the story and the characters. So whether it is a Shabana Azmi or whether it is a Shalini Pandey, once I'm on the set, there is no difference.
They're an actor. Yeah.
There is no difference. They are playing characters. We have spent months and years on building those characters, and now we know where these people have to go. And now they come and they perform those characters, and then the magic happens. So one is only servicing the story. One is only servicing the story, because once you start leaving the story and you try and do something individually at an actor level, I think it just derails the entire process.
True.
So you stick to the story, you stick to the narrative that you have decided, and then the characters are playing a part in helping you achieve that vision.
Fair enough. Right. This is a tough one. Was there one character out of all these women, there's these leading ladies in this, that character that surprised you, that, you were like, wow, what a character this is. I'd like to play this someday.
No, I don't think any of them surprised me. I think that they surpassed expectations for sure.
Okay.
Look, you work on it so closely for so long on paper. And then obviously there's many, many discussions that as a creative team we are having over and over again about certain character arcs and relationships and trajectory. And then you cast for the show.
Right.
And then these characters are brought to life. And there's a certain expectation that you have. And then there's things that they bring to the character that you could have never imagined. So it's always a beautiful journey to watch it, then breathe life into a character and bring it to a point that now feels so real.
Yeah.
So that transition itself is really nice. But I mean, I don't know if most people say this when they're working on a project and when it goes from paper to screen. But we were really lucky that all of our actors brought something so beautiful to their characters and brought them to life in such a magical way, because it was just great to watch.
Right. Any character, any actor surprised you? You were like, wow, this is more than what I got.
Difficult to say,
Of
to
course, right.
single out any
It is.
particular actor like that. I think that there would be moments with the same actors more than once,
Okay.
even with Shabana Azmi, even with someone like I remember practically rehearsing a scene with Shabana ma'am and then shooting the entire thing. Something was not clicking. So we scrapped that entire thing and we reshot that entire thing, because I also had a doubt, she also had a doubt. She's like, let's do it all over again. So
Okay.
just to spend 2.5 hours. And then one small thing, one addition here. So I think those were just magical moments rather than one single actor.
Wow. This is on Netflix. Couldn't have asked for a better platform for this show. Reaches, 190 plus countries. What's the feedback been like? Do you get feedback from everywhere? Does Netflix tell you how well it's done?
So, we've worked very closely as creative partners on the show. So there's been involvement from the very beginning. And it's been wonderful. It's Excel's first collaboration with Netflix. And it's been a really great journey. I think we've all really believed in this project from the beginning. And it's been a very special one for all of us. So the amount of love that we've poured into it has been really great. And just the experience to kind of work together as a team. There's so many people involved, right, at a creative level. When you're working on a show, it's a hugely collaborative experience. And I think the greatest thing is to have alignment on a certain vision in order for that show to be successful. So we were very lucky to partner with Netflix and have it be hopefully such a great success.
Yeah. Hitesh, you don't take up that many projects. You take a fair share of break between projects, or are you picky when things come to you, or do you want your own time? That's how you come back?
Not picky really. I don't know if picky is the right word, but the material really has to speak to you.
Right.
After Sharma, I read a lot of scripts and for series, for films and this thing, and those are hard decisions when you have to say no to something. And I did have to say no to a couple of things. And you're a little unsure about things because, do you think that, Arre, acha hai, kar lena chahiye, but then your heart is not in it. So I think unless the material speaks to you, you won't be able to really put your heart and soul into it, because it's a long period, right? It's not a month-long project. So to devote a couple of years of your life to one thing, something has to stick.
Right.
Something has to stick. So which happened in this case, luckily.
Right. Because it's Women's Day, we have to talk about this. Shibani, you tell us, what is work-life balance for you? How much do you how much time do you want to give your work and how much time do you want to give your personal life? What is important? Holidays are important, break is important. This will just help a lot of young girls who will be watching this.
Well, I think it's something that you kind of figure out over the course of your life and your career at different stages.
Okay.
I've been married for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
So, not about, I've been married for 3 years. And it's, it's always something that kind of changes as you go. So now working on Dabba Cartel, obviously you're busier than what you are normally. Farhan is usually very busy.
Right.
So it's something that we kind of work on month in terms of schedules, but we try to make time for, a date night once a week or Hitesh is giving me. He's like, should I be doing that?
Yeah.
Or a trip once every, weekend away once every 3 months, maybe one trip once a year.
Right.
But I think, the important thing is to really spend time emotionally and mentally connecting, having conversations that aren't necessarily always related to work because we work in the same industry.
Right.
Just spending quality time with our dogs, doing things that interest us, playing tennis, which we love to do. But I think Farhan is actually somebody who taught me about work-life balance. Before I met him, I would work 7 days a week, cancel holidays to work, and it really wasn't healthy.
Right.
I think you have to prioritize having a personal life because that's ultimately what is going to feed you and rejuvenate you and allow you to have a full, better quality professional life.
Right. Great. On that note, we will wrap this. And guys, from all my heart, I'm telling you all, if you haven't watched Dabba Cartel, please go and watch it on Netflix.
Please go and watch it. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell everybody. You did like that. I love it.
Shibani, Hitesh, thank you so much. Thank you guys
you.
for
Thank
listening
you
to us.
all.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.